After a session filled with pop culture and sci-fi, we have two amazing poets to take you back to your roots. We have P. Lalita Kumari, who writes under the pen name Volga and is a Sahitya Academy Award-winning Telugu poet. Kadali Satyanarayana, the young author of the anthology of feminist writing Mustard, will be joining her in the conversation.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning. Fine, fine.
I am so happy to do this with you. Last time we have been on the same stage, but we couldn't
Yeah.
find much time together. But this is like a privilege to me. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And yeah, I just want to make sure a feminist, a strong feminist from your generation. Sorry if I'm referring to age here, but we really wanna know how this all have been a beautiful journey from starting from your writing journey and what it tells our generation of writers who specifically to be feminists.
You are asking the last question as first question. So, your generation and our generation, I think there is no much difference between these two generations if we compare the social situation outside. And now the social situation becomes worse for women. The violence against women is worse. The right to life and liberty become very precious things. So, in our generation, we have the space to raise our voice somewhat freely and somewhat courageously than your generation. Your generation now, the situations, the socio-political, economic conditions, when you observe it, you feel that you have to conceal your dissent. You have to conceal so many things. You can't speak all the issues under the sky very freely, very frankly.
Yes.
But our generation also has problems. Our generation also faced so many problems when we are writing for the first time in 80s and 90s. But we have a lot of space too. And we have a lot of people around us who can support us, who can hear our voices and understand our voices. I'm a little bit doubtful now about that situation. So, and also, we have a very vibrant political atmosphere in those days. That political atmosphere gave us many opportunities to share, to speak, and to interact with many people. And now that is entirely different for you.
True.
And I think your generation is not going into studying the theory, philosophy of political, social conditions of the entire world. There are a lot of things. When I read the younger generation stories, they are either too simple or too complex. And in the guise of complexity, I found a kind of emptiness in that guise of complexity. So I have some problems, but I am very much enthusiastic about this generation's writings, particularly the writings of Dalit women and minority women writings. Not, I'm enthusiastic about men writing also, men writers also, but I'm very much enthusiastic about Dalit women writing very boldly, very straightforwardly, without any hesitation, their sufferings, or their protests, or their dissent, whichever it is. They are very bold. So when I heard those voices, I'm very happy that there is a lot of hope in the future generation. But sometimes the other way around. So it's
Yeah,
mixed
exactly.
feeling. It's mixed kind of feeling.
Yeah, from your points, I wanna make sure how political situations around your time actually help you to be a better writer, and vice like contrary, how our political situations are dragging us behind to be expressive enough. We being a writer, I myself experience that I am somehow dragged behind without putting like proper lines or proper explanation or experiences because of the force by these politicians or political agenda at these times. And how were you free at that time? From your words I get to understand that you have got enough space to express yourself, and how that is so contrary to these times, and what made these situations like this.
The situation then is uh, then it's not very free. We try to make our spaces. We just step by step, we try to make our way and paved our paths. But the general situation is in I think I don't know whether you are born or not. In 1975, it is International Women's Year.
Oh wow,
It
yeah.
was International Women's Year declared by UN, and 1975 was the year when emergency was imposed in our country. So one side emergency and other side International
Women's.
Women's Year, which called for women's rights and women's liberties and all that. So these two different kind of things, how we used that. In emergency, many news, many writings by other political parties or intellectuals were censored. They were not appeared in the newspapers. So many articles were censored. But then they thought that women's issues are okay. There is no danger in writing or allow writing women's issues. They write about economic equality or something. So women's question is not very dangerous, they thought. So they gave space for discussions in the newspapers. So we start writing like anything, discussing like anything. The politics of feminist ideology and the women's bodies, women's reproductive rights, and what happened was UN asked every country to submit a country report. So the government asked women intellectuals and all from all walks of life to put things together about women. And intellectuals like Veena Mazumdar headed that, and they made an extraordinary effort and brought out the report called Towards Equality, and that is a path-breaking book, and it I think it brought out many issues, how women were dragging behind, how women's situation is worse than in 1910s and 20s. So women groups from every city start discussing this, and writers took that opportunity, grabbed the issue, issues and put them in the form of literature, poetry, short stories, novels. Lot of them are coming with the different aspects of women's lives. Women start writing about their bodies for the first time, about menstruation for the first time, about labor pains for the first time, and about reproductive rights, about the division of labor in the housework, and
Yes.
sexual harassment at the workplace, and about whatnot. All the things which are oppressing women came in different literary forms. So that decade from 75 to 85, that decade also was declared as International Women's Decade.
Okay. Yes.
So internationally, there was such vibration among women's groups and women writers to bring about so many issues for discussion. That gave us a lot of enthusiasm to write. That background,
Yeah.
that support from international community, the support we got from abroad. Abroad means from UN, United
Yeah.
Nations. So this is all one side, but there is a lot of repression in our country during the emergency, and we have to understand about the politics of women's bodies and the politics of the state, power relations between men and women, and also power relations between people and the state. So we have to understand these relations. To understand and write about those things, we have to work hard with people. We have to study hard. We have to go into villages, go into people, women, men, met them. So a lot of hard work was behind our writing. That kind of hard work is important for a writer to put forth his or her ideas, heart, and everything.
Wow, that was wonderfully explained. Thank you so much. Yeah, if I can ask, I really want to ask about Vantinti Masi. Can you
Okay.
please talk about it? I really want to know. Not only me, most of my friends were like excited to know about the journal and the journey of it.
Not
Like,
a journal. We published few books under the name of Vantinti Masi.
Vantinti Masi.
Vantinti Masi, that means kitchen sooth. Kitchen sooth. That kitchen sooth was devalued for centuries.
Yes.
But women used that kitchen sooth, which is black, to learn alphabets.
Wow.
Yeah, you can, that's black. And if you can write on that black sooth, it will appear, no? The letters will appear. Haimavati Dev Sen from Bengal literally learned alphabets in the kitchen using kitchen sooth as her tool. So it is a very important political name we choose for our publication.
Wow, this is just mind blowing. Wow. Yes. And can I also talk about Neeli Meghalu?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
You
we
read
can.
it?
I mean,
You read it?
how
You read it?
how? Yeah, I
You
read
read
it.
it?
I read it. I read it. Yeah, I read it, and there are few favorite poems from that Neeli Meghalu, and I really want to know though I am like please consider my ignorance. I have not known much about the controversy at that time, but I really want to know from your words what was the controversy made about Neeli Meghalu at that time? Can I know?
There is no controversy on Neeli Meghalu, around Neeli Meghalu, but before Neeli Meghalu was published, there is a controversy on women's poetry, feminist poetry. For the first time in late 80s and early 90s, women were writing about their bodies. Women were writing about their bodily functions, like as I previously told
Yeah.
about menstruation and about
Like
many things. I
pregnancy.
myself
Yeah.
wrote political stories, and each story is about a part of women's body, like hair, eyes, nose, mouth, breasts, vagina, about the backbone, everything. Every part of women's body became a short story, and like that they are becoming poems. They are becoming so many literary. They are taking so many literary forms. That surprised and shocked um, male poets and male
Yeah.
literary critics. For
Yes.
centuries, they are describing women's bodies as objects. Women's
And
bodies were
also
objects,
glorifying.
glorifying, and only the outward beauty they are talking about and
Talking about.
objectifying women's bodies. For the first time, the object revolted and spoke about their subject, subjective
Yes.
feelings. So
Yes.
that was a big shock in the literary field,
Word.
in the literary
Yeah.
world. So many progressive revolutionary poets also shocked, and they started criticizing. Criticizing means not a simple criticism, but lot of negative criticism, that these poems are blue poems. This poetry is blue poetry, porn poetry. They are talking about bodily functions. They are not talking about social issues. They are talking about bodily issues. These words are very ugly words, like
Disturbing.
Ratirota, Viryavarsham, Yoni, Maga Mada Mrugalara. These kind of words which we were using were very obscene for them, for the male poets. So our language is not good. Our subjects we choose for writing poems were not good. So a lot of criticism from, even from revolutionary and progressive poets, we are very taken
Upset.
aback, very much taken aback. And these poets, women poets, are from different parts of the Telugu state. Then Andhra Pradesh, only one state then. So different small towns, villages, cities, they are sitting in their homes and are writing alone.
Yeah.
So these criticisms from bigger figures of literary world naturally threaten them. Why
Yes.
we are writing about our lives, and why these kind of criticisms? So then we took initiation. We from Asmita Resource Center for Women took initiation to give a call for all women writers to join together for 2 days at Hyderabad and discuss about many things, about our writings, about our language, about our
Yes.
lives, about um, our philosophy and our theory. So all women writers, about 150 women writers, gathered at Hyderabad Press Club for 2 days to discuss many things, and we discussed many things. And
Wow.
everybody joined together, and we have a lot of courage and support from each other. There is a lot of enthusiasm there. So after 2 days, we had a press conference and we released a press statement, and people like Kaloji Narayan Rao garu, Chekur Ramarao garu came and spoke in support of us. And then we declared that within 1 year, a feminist poetry anthology will be going to publish.
Publish.
So that is Neeli Meghalu was the result of that meeting. And
And that
within a
was
year,
and that was a beautiful anthology of poems, and not from your age, not from my age. I would suggest generations after me should read that. That
yeah,
was so beautifully crafted.
Yes, Chekuri Ramarao Garu, a linguist and literary critic, praised this volume, Nili Meghalu, as the second best poetry anthology of the century. First place he gave to Vaitalikulu, and second place he gave to Nili Meghalu. So
Wow.
after Nili Meghalu, feminism, I think, came spread with the legitimacy, with an appreciation,
Legitimacy. Yes.
with a lot of people seriously looking at it.
Wow, that was so happy to know all the stories now. And yes, I have to ask one more thing about Vimukta, because that's my favorite, of course. Yeah, all of your works are like Sahaja, Svecha, all were like Sahaja got me goosebumps when I read it in my ninth standard, I guess. And from then I've been a big fan. Not only me, like all my contemporary writers are like, you're like an icon for us. I am so like privileged to talk to you like this now. But talking about Vimukta, how can you get that beautiful idea, man? Like it's so beautiful. How can you bring those characters into life and make beautiful conversation between those women who are actually alienated in those scriptures?
I want to dig into their inner side with the contemporariness. So when Surpanaka, mutilated and very agonized by that act, uh, what are the feelings she underwent? Then I started writing that story because many of us didn't understand that agony for so many years. When we heard and encounter about an acid attack and how that woman who has undergone that attack, acid attack, after deforming her face, how feel and how she survived and how she uh, lived after that. The first women who suffered like this is Surpanaka, I remember. Surpanaka. So the contemporariness of the events from Ramayana and today, we have to explore. The contemporariness is very much there. And take about Ahalya. How many women were thrown out of their houses because of disbelief, because of so many questions on their chastity and all that. So the problems are there, and centuries back in Ramayana, these women faced those challenges very courageously. They are really wise women. Their wiseness was disguised all these times. So I want to demystify those characters, and I want to give them a new voice, a feminist voice. So I start writing, and those stories just flowed like you read or you saw it. So
Yeah.
it's a very good experience for me also. Because I wrote a dance ballet, War and Peace, and in the dance ballet, Sita and Surpanaka dance together.
Wow.
So they dance together, explaining their situation that they are not rivals, but they are just pawns in the war politics of Aryans and Dravidians.
Oh,
So
wow.
when this dance drama was staged with a lot of performances, more than 100 performances all over Andhra Pradesh, we gave, and Doordarshan want to telecast this.
Uh-huh.
So they shot the entire dance ballet 70 minutes dance ballet, but they don't want Surpanaka. They want to
Why?
censor that character because they told us, they explained us that Surpanaka was not a sufferer. She was a sinner. She loved Rama, who was already married. Uh, and she threatened Sita and so many things. But so that punishment she received was justifiable in their eyes.
Justified.
They thought it is a punishment. That's she did a misdeed and received a punishment. That kind of
Mentality.
thinking was there. Very mechanically they argued, and they censored that character from that dance ballet when they telecast it. I am very much agitated when my beautiful character, who
Yeah.
already mutilated by someone, now mutilated by these people. So then I started writing Samagamam, and after that, other stories followed.
Wow. That was so like enlightening to know. Oh my God, I'm so lucky to have this conversation with you. Yeah, and can I proceed with one more question if you are okay? I
Okay,
really want to know about Nurela Chalam now
okay.
because being a huge fan of Chalam writings, so I just want to know what is your perspective about Chalam and how he has been a bridge between the literature and feminist literature, and also your perspective regarding Nurila Chalam.
Nurela Chalam, that anthology of essays, was edited by me only, and we, some women, 10 or 12 women joined together to celebrate Chalam's centenary then,
Yes.
from 1994 to 1995, 1 year. We had meetings, books published. I wrote a drama with 6 characters of Chalam coming together and discussing their lives. And
Wow.
we ourselves performed as those characters. Myself, Mrunalini, Vindhya, Vasantalakshmi, Veeral, Kondakuda. We became Chalam's characters. That was a wonderful event then.
Oh,
So
can I
Nurela
ask
Chalam
this?
was an
Just a
anthology.
second. Just can I ask this? Is that play is recorded? Is it on YouTube or somewhere?
No. In 95, there were no technological advances like today. So we didn't have even proper photographs,
Ayyo.
only paper clippings. That's one event. But about this anthology, we tried to understand Chalam from feminist perspective. We tried to analyze him from feminist perspective because Chalam spoke about women's sexuality, women labor, and women motherhood in
Yes.
his literature and in his book Stree, called Stree.
Yes.
In Stree, if you go through it, we found astonishing statements by Chalam,
Yes.
which feminists are also hesitating to make. So it's a wonderful book. And then all his novel short stories are really asking questions about women's oppression very powerfully.
Yes.
So to introduce Chalam not as entirely as a beautiful writer, lyrical writer with a highly literary style and all that, or like an Adhyatmika Anveshi,
Mm.
spiritual. So
Yeah.
we want to take Chalam as a writer who spoke about women's oppression in such a powerful way from a feminist perspective for the first time.
Yes.
That was the result of Noorella Chalam book.
Wow. That was so happy to listen from you about my favorite also, Chalam. So yeah, I think we are time's up. So can we end this session with you reading any of your poems, just like 4 verses for us?
I read English translations of my poems. One, Advaita. I cannot write of joy. I cannot write of joy. I can only speak of the joy I feel, my body, brightening to a moonbeam, softening into a dab of butter, rising into a fragrance of flowers, arching into a rainbow, flying light and free as a feather, carving out impressions in a continuous flow of movement, springs within and without, bursting all dams, dancing in fringed joy. There is no world outside my body. There is no world outside my body. My body's felt sun is the world. Wondrous feeling, as if I were falling in love again and again, a first birthing. That is one poem.
Wow. I must just say wow.
And Farmer's Wife is another poem. When farmers' suicides were very rampant
High in number, yeah.
I wrote many poets wrote about farmers and their suicides, their suffering and all that. I wrote from the point of view of farmer's wife. So, yeah, wife. What does she thought? I think I can read it in both languages.
Yes.
In Telugu, the title is Chavuni Kadu Batukuni.
Wow.
పుణ్యాత్ముడివి వెళ్ళిపోయావు పుణ్యాత్ముడివి వెళ్ళిపోయావు పాపిష్టిదాన్ని మిగిలిపోయాను అప్పుల వాళ్ళ ముందు తల వంచలేక చేయి సాచలేక పంట నమ్ముకోలేక ప్రాణాలు తీసుకున్నావు నేను పుడుతూనే తలదించుకున్నాను చేయి సాచటము అలవాటే అమ్ముడు పోవటము కొత్త కాదు ఇదంతా తెలిసే వదిలేసి వెళ్ళావా విషంతో విముక్తి పొందావు నా బతుకు చేదు విషమయ్యింది పత్తి పంట నిన్న మొన్నటిదాయే మన కాపురం ఏనాటిది ఈ సంసారపు ఊబిలో ఎన్నిసార్లు చచ్చి బతికాను నువ్వు తిట్టినా తిమ్మినా తాగొచ్చి చచ్చేట్టు తన్నినా మగబుద్ధిలే పోనిమ్మనుకున్నాను గాని ఇంత చావు దెబ్బ తీస్తావనుకోలేదు నిజమే పంట పోయింది అప్పు మిగిలింది పరువు మంటగలిసింది గుండె నీరయింది కానీ నలుగురు పిల్లల భారాన్ని నా వీపు ఎలా మోస్తుందనుకున్నావు నీ పంట నాశనాన్నే చూశావు గాని నా కడుపు పంట సంగతి ఏమాలోచించావు పురుగు కొరుక్కు తిన్న పత్తికాయలా వాళ్ళని ఎలా గాలి కొద్దియమంటావు ముక్కు మూసుకోటానికి 3 నిమిషాలు చాలు కానీ నోరు తెరిచి అడగాలయ్యా ఇదంతా ఏమిటని ఎందుకు ఇలా జరుగుతోందని ముద్దకే కాదు యుద్ధానికి పిడికిలి బిగించాలని నా పిల్లలకు చెప్పటానికి నేను బతుకుతాను బతికి తీరతాను చావును కాదు బతుకును కౌగలించుకుంటాను బతుకు పోరుని కౌగలించుకుంటాను and the translation you are virtuous and you are gone poor sinner that I remain before your creditors unable to bend your head or stretch out your hand or sell your crops. You crossed over. But I was burned with a head bent, a hand outstretched, not unused to being sold. Knowing all this, did you leave me? You found release with poison. You found release with poison, poisoning my bitter existence. The cotton crop is but yesterday's. The cotton crop is but yesterday's. But our family, how often I have drowned in it. How many times I escaped death. Whether you abused or reviled me, kicked me when you were drunk, I thought he is but a man. Little did I dream you would deal me a death blow like this. True, the crop was gone, the debt remained, our dignity hit the dust, our hearts turned to water. But how did you imagine my back would bear the burden of 4 children? You saw your crop destroyed. What of the harvest of my womb? Can I leave them to the wind like the worm-eaten cotton pods? Can I leave them to the wind like worm-eaten cotton pods? It takes a moment to die. It takes a moment to die, but to open your mouth and ask, what of this? Why is this? Needs a firm heart. To teach my children to clench a fist, not merely for a handful of rice, but to battle. But in battle, I must live. I must live. I must embrace life, not death. Embrace life and the struggle for life. That is the task.
That was beautiful. Those two poems were really, really inspiring. And I don't think we are still left with time. But this was a beautiful session with you. Thank you so much for bearing my ignorance first of all.
No. Suddenly, your questions are good, and your enthusiasm to know about the past the past women's movement or women's literature is very, very interesting to me. And that bridge has to be there between
Yes.
our generation and your generation. We are not meeting quite frequently.
Yes.
Your generation writers are not coming to our generation, or we are not coming to your generation. Either way, somehow we are remain apart. That's not good for the women's literature to progress.
Yes.
We should build the bridge, and we
Yes.
should walk on the bridge with hand in hand. So
Yes.
it's a very beautiful meeting with you, and I hope in future many writers of your generation will start thinking, talking, bridging the gaps from
Wow.
past and future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. I think we can sign off now.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We hope you enjoyed the session. To catch your favorite authors live and check out the full schedule, you can log on to